All right, we are back for the second 9 of the second card, women's lead card, glass blown open coverage here. I am Zoe Andyke.
And I'm Paige Pierce. Thank you guys for joining us. We are looking forward to some great golf here on the back 9. So far, you've seen Catrina shoot pretty hot, but 2 bogeys towards the end of that. She's still at 5 under. Jessica Weese is even, and Jennifer and Rebecca are both over par. And you got Paige Bierkes moving up from the second card at this point.
And, the conditions are definitely picking up for the later part of this round. I think steadily throughout the day, the conditions and the wind picks up. Hole 10, par 3, 391 feet. We're gaining elevation and then we're losing elevation up and down. OB on the right, OB on the left. Just really want to keep your shot in the middle of the fairway here, whether you're throwing right-handed or left-handed.
Yep, and at this point, we had a strong headwind, so it's going to kind of make the disc flip a little bit, which is going to bring into play that right side. So you might see some players throwing hyzer shots or hyzer releases to try to avoid that wind flipping the disc. That one did flip, though, found the top of the hill, but it got a cut roll, and it's safe inbounds, just a little bit short of the basket.
Rebecca Cox throwing one of her Ballista Pros and getting an interesting kick into the fairway there. So
yeah.
That's safe.
That one flipped as well, but it hit and kicked back inbounds. Catrina with a hyzer release. She's getting that stable finish, and she's going to be challenging the OB on the left side. It rolled OB, but did it roll back in? It's hard to tell. We'll see in just a moment. Jennifer Allen with a great throw here. Nice and high. In line with the basket, but great late tree. It was starting to hyzer towards the OB, so great tree there.
But, also great distance. She's down there just outside of the circle for the putt.
Rebecca with just what seemed to be a pretty routine upshot.
Mm-hmm.
And Jessica with her Sonic playing catch with the basket, just trying to get down there close.
I love that. Playing catch with the basket.
Ooh, Catrina with a beautiful run.
A beautiful, safe run.
Yeah.
Like seeing that out of the players out here today. It's the second round, so knowing that and knowing that she's got such a strong lead, playing really smart golf is probably her plan. Big putt there for Jessica, saving the par.
And the rest of the cards looking to clean up here and move on to hole 11. This is a tough hole coming up. And it's got lots of OB. They're probably starting to think about, the wind in their face at this point, and coming up late on the round, there gets more and more and even more OB. We've already seen so much of it.
Oh, man. It's a common theme out here. It's, again, such a well-designed disc golf course out here on the fall golf greens and fairways. So hole 11, as you guys can see, the sidewalk the whole way up the left-hand side kind of hyzers and curves around. With the fairway, we've got the right-hand side flagged OB. This is one of the more narrow fairways. For any of the ladies to get up to that large tree is going to be a great shot because it actually signifies that they've made it close to or in the circle.
Yeah, and so you see the sidewalk kind of painting the left side. It goes in and then curves back around. So about 70% up the fairway is the tightest part, which is actually where our distance kind of gets us. Jess tries to push that and turns it over right side OB.
And Rebecca trusting that Ballista Pro.
Keeps it out wide, but it swings OB and doesn't find its way to roll back in.
Up next, we have Catrina.
This looks like her D2. She relies on this for an overstable finish. Puts it out. And starting to hyzer. Oh, yeah. That one came up quite a bit short and too much hyzer. So she's going to be OB.
And let's see how Jen Allen fares out here. She's got an overstable distance driver. She's hanging out to the right.
Good
getting the
release.
skip in, keeping it low,
And the
cutting
skip.
through. Yeah, she's just outside of that circle. She's pretty happy with that shot.
Yeah, such a great throw. She loves those where she can just rip on the disc. And, you know, being from Oklahoma, she probably plays lots of golf like this. I've been playing with her for years, and that's her strong suit.
Rebecca with a little jump approach under the basket. Stress-free.
Jennifer Allen, a little bit low, but stress-free par. Always good. And it looks like Catrina is playing from just about 18 feet away for her circle 3. And she connects on it.
And although, you know, that's an incredible thing, although you can see her taking a big breath there. Probably happy to be walking out with the par. Jessica cleaning up with a bogey. And Jen with her tap-in par. And let's see, Rebecca, I believe as well, will be tapping in her bogey.
Yes. With that out of bounds, she's going to be walking away with a bogey. And we're moving on to hole 12.
The tricky 314-foot hole. You've got OB and trees lining the OB all along the right-hand side. And then there is I call it the vortex, or the kind of magnetic force field tree there on the left-hand side. Doesn't matter what kind of shot you're throwing, that tree is trying to suck your discs in. As you can see, also deep left of the basket, there is flags, you know, lining out of bounds as well. So a lot of trouble at the end there by the green. Let's see how these players can attack this one.
This is the absolute perfect line Catrina executes. What you're wanting is something overstable, turned over, so that it fights that tree, but then it hyzers back safe inbounds, and Catrina throws it perfectly.
Yeah, split that tree gap is incredible.
Yeah, and at this point in the round, the wind was pushing quite a bit to the left, so if she didn't commit to that anhyzer angle, she was going to hyzer OB. That was, I can't remark on how good that shot was.
And Jessica unfortunately found the out of bounds off her tee shot. And Rebecca trying hard to stay away from that tree. Bounces just off to the right of the base.
Jessica with this look to save par. Pretty good run, but it's nearly impossible to hit that putt in this wind at this point. So she's probably stoked with that bullseye putt.
Yeah, it's a tap in and stress-free. From underneath the tree, Jen gets herself up close. And Catrina putting for a birdie. And cashes in.
Great birdie. This hole's playing 0.7 strokes over par. Catrina with one of the very few twos on this hole. She's definitely going to be excited walking up to the next tee pad.
And she still only had 2 bogeys in the round, I believe.
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us today, you know, any day that you see heavy wind like this, you just want to keep it inbounds and you want to take pars. But Catrina's also throwing quite a bit of birdies in there in the mix. And this is one that can also be birdied by her if she gets it wide enough.
At 394 feet, it's a par 3. You've really got to test the out of bounds because of the tree line on the left-hand side, OB right. And there is actually OB even deeper to the left behind those trees. So we'll see how these players come off the tee.
Yeah, and this green is also pretty skippy. So, oh no, right out of her hand. She knew she overturned it and left it low. So no time to correct her turn that she put on her wrist.
Yeah, not enough skip or time for skip. Jen also had a low release, but was lucky enough to stay inbounds there. So
yeah, pretty similar release, just a little bit lower even.
Rebecca puts it up in the air over the OB, gets the hyzer skip she's expecting, and
a roll she
safe.
wasn't expecting, I'm guessing. But yeah, she looks like she stayed safe.
She's pushing it. And the flags don't even do it justice right now. You know, I'm thinking we're between 10 and 15 miles an hour off and on all throughout.
Jess with a great wide shot. She trusts that disc, and she gets this skip right to the center of the fairway, just outside circle 2. Oh, that needs to sit. Oh no, double OB. She went with the sidearm there, stand still, trying to take some speed off the disc and just land it close, but you know, she's throwing the hyzer right at OB, and she's going to be having a tester for double bogey.
And Jen leaving it a little short. As we could see, she was a little disappointed in that. Rebecca putting together a nice upshot. Just a little more of a stress-free par look. And Jessica also under the basket. Let's see. It looks like Jen is just inside of the circle.
Oh, a little bit low. Hits the pole. Good release, just a little bit more on that, and it was in.
Dead center.
Catrina to save a 5.
And she does.
Connects.
And the wind is whipping. Really like Rebecca Cox. Her hair is, it's so fluffy, so thick and full, and you see it in the wind. It's kind of like a flag, a little bit of a wind test there for us.
All right, Jessica cleans up, and we are walking over to hole 14. This is a long one, Zoe.
It is. Hole 14, 574 par 4. 574 foot par 4 is what I'm trying to say.
And you see the geese flying off. They're by the left side, which is all OB, all the way down.
And right side fence OB, lining at the whole fairway.
Yeah, you got that late green on the left side, deep left of the basket, and that definitely comes into play on your approaches.
Competitors have choices here. You can see Rebecca's taking the right side hyzer gap. There is a straight kind of tree gap that a lot of players are trying to hit. And then whether you're throwing an anhyzer, a lefty, or a huge sidearm, there's the most real estate off to the left-hand side off the tee.
Yes. But Rebecca throws it beautifully down the right side and gets a great skip. She's down by the 250-foot stake, and she's going to be loving that. Jess, similar distance, maybe even a little bit farther with that beautifully thrown, powerful sidearm. That is a stable disc.
It is, and she's got the power to throw it. Get away from those poles. Yep, nice roll. She's going to be pretty happy over there. Looks like Catrina is taking the left side, hoping to get some anhyzer. Turn on her disc, and she does.
She gets that nice overstable finish and gets way down there. Challenges the left side OB, but there's just so much room over there. And now she has a pretty open look up to the basket. You're going to see a lot of players challenge the branch on that big tree, but Rebecca's far enough right where she can throw the hyzer around the right side of the base of the tree.
That was a great shot, putting her in position inside of the circle.
Here's something you don't see that often.
Whoa.
Oh.
Very rare. I was saying whoa for the rarity. I'm sad to see that went down so low out of her hands. But Jen Allen is not known to throw sidearms.
Yeah, so I applaud her for trying. She laughed it off. She knew, it's not a comfortable shot for her, but she still went with it, and she's safe. Jessica Weese, however, may not be. It kind of looked like it went under the fence OB.
Yeah, we'll have to see where that's at once we get closer.
Oh, no.
Nasty roll away. It's like that tree just played soccer ball with that disc.
Yeah.
It kicked it right away.
She tried to get that skip around it, but the tree said no, and I'm going to roll you backwards as well.
And Kat's pretty much parked there I believe that's going to be for her par.
Yeah, it's a par 4, so she's...
Oh, excuse me, for her birdie.
She's actually looking at a birdie. And... did you hear that there is an Eagle bounty this week for an FPO player?
Oh, I did. I think it's $350.
Wonder if she thought about that.
Any Eagle.
tried to eagle it maybe.
I believe the kind gentleman. Oh, that was a huge save. And actually, Jessica was inbounds there. So that was a birdie, a great birdie at that. Huge putt to cash in.
It's always a good feeling when you get down there and you see that it's actually inbounds. Very exciting.
Yeah, and I'd like to touch on that. Players at home, players anywhere, don't count yourself out of bounds until you know it's the truth. I mean, you're just kind of icing yourself out and taking energy away from your own mental game and confidence. Just get up there and hope for the best, would be my advice. Hole 15, par 3, 347 feet. Now this one's interesting, and I don't think we pointed out yesterday that the drop zone is only for discs that don't make it inbounds off of the tee shot. Some players actually were confused about the way that was played, or may not even actually have recognized the drop zone because it's so far over to the left. But just for the out of bounds tee shots, let's see how the ladies play it.
Yeah, so the optimal shot here is out wide like Jess is doing, looking to hyzer in, and she gets that skip safe. There is OB on the left side that you do have to watch out for if you put too much hyzer on it, because this green does skip quite a bit.
I really like this hole. Just sub 350, a little downhill and then a little uphill. It's a fair hole for the whole division. Everybody's got a chance to get in there.
Catrina a little bit high, hits the branch, but it drops her just close to pin high on the right side.
Wow. That disc actually stayed straighter. That's why I said, wow, a lot longer than what I thought it would.
Yeah, it totally did.
Look at that headwind, just kind of whipping those feather banners.
Jennifer, nice and wide, good commitment to the shot. Knows it's going to stable up, and she gets herself just outside the circle.
It's an incredible drive.
Looks like she's inside the circle, actually.
Might be just at the edge.
Just floating up an Annie putt. That was beautiful.
Yeah, talk about trying to cut through the wind. That was a great shot.
Great touch there.
Powerhouse. Rebecca, she's really got that jump putt thing down. She's been eating her Wheaties. She's been throwing those tough.
Catrina, oh my gosh, beautiful bid. She doesn't even jump it, but just a tiny bit low.
And
Jennifer
Jen getting her birdie.
Connects. And, she has the advantage on a lot of these, mid 300 to 400 foot holes because she's getting closer, therefore leaving herself with shorter putts on these looks.
And Rebecca cleaning up. Let's see, just a couple of tap-ins here to round out hole 15. Par for Jessica and a par for Kat. So as we can see, Kat is still holding solid at a 5 down. Jessica Weese 1 over. Jen Allen's at 5 over. And what was Rebecca's score? We're on hole 16, which is the first water hole, par 3, 262 feet. Definitely drivable for everyone in the division, but will you take the risk and the reward, or the medicine, or just the drop zone? Are you laying up? What are you doing?
It depends on the wind, and at this point, there's a pretty severe tailwind, so it's actually a pretty decent wind for it. If you put it up there hard and high, the tailwind's going to slam it down. In Jen's case, she didn't get it high enough, and it slammed it down right into the water. She'll be proceeding to the drop zone, which any OBT shot goes to the drop zone.
Jess is confidently hanging the sidearm all the way out over the water, getting a beautiful skip. Nice landing. It's putting her in position for the birdie.
Yeah, and this hole is very difficult. Anything inbounds is good, especially an inbounds on the island. This one's playing 0.6 over par. So, if you want to risk it, you got to keep that in mind.
Let's watch this FollowFlight. Kat just rips this disc on the line, straight in, lands and scuttles right up to the basket. It's beautiful. She's got to be happy and feeling confident.
A putter.
It's a putter.
It's really hard to control putters in the wind, but on this tailwind, it's such a veteran move, knowing that you can throw it hard with confidence and let it drop.
And I like Rebecca Cox's layup play. Let's see if she can get on the island. Little tiny bit of touch of water. I like that. I like that.
That's
She's
amazing.
safe. I wonder if she ever practiced kind of skipping rocks back in the day.
Jennifer with the strong jump putt from the drop zone. Oh, a little hot. The camera guy signaling he doesn't know.
He's not sure.
They're going to have to check it out.
I think she actually stayed dry there, though. Never saw a flag.
Rebecca misses, but stays on the island, luckily. Oh, another miss from Jessica Weese. You know, when you have water all around you, you're staring at the water moving and the flag whipping around in the wind. These putts are harder than they seem, and Jennifer just showed us another missed putt.
Got to stay confident and, really feel the wind before you're going to actually make that stroke.
And that one's right in Rebecca's face. Oh, my goodness.
At this point, Rebecca wants off of the island and on to the next hole.
You know, with the wind whipping in your face, sometimes you overthink the small putts.
That's exactly
you
what
think,
happens.
I'm going to putt it lower because there's headwind, and then the wind doesn't raise it. So
Beautiful birdie there for Kat. I mean, that's definitely coming up a stroke or two or three, even on the whole field.
yeah, she got 3 on 2 of her card mates, and we're moving on to hole 17.
It's 680 feet. It's a par 4. I would never describe this as an easy hole. There's all kinds of difficulty all the way up the left-hand side of the fairway out of bounds. As you can see, there's a golf green completely surrounded by the cardboard printed signs, but that's not the OB marker. It's about 10 feet off of that ball golf green. We got a low-hanging ceiling. What else do we have? All kinds of wind.
Lots of headwind. That's why Catrina's throwing her X2 here. She throws it a little high, hits the branch, but it kicks straight down, inbounds, in a good position.
And a little bit high to be playing that Annie line, so she's going to have to just take it right there next to the tree. Jen keeping
Jennifer.
it low.
Beautiful shot. Low, fast, and stable. Will it sit? Awesome.
Green
So
flag.
glad to see that sat for. It was a beautifully thrown shot, and she's by the 400-foot stake.
Getting caught up a little bit, but it doesn't throw her out of bounds. She's safe in the fairway. And for Kat's second shot,
This is her H2. Ooh, it sat down, and I'm sorry, H1. It sat down. It got that roll, but it sat in time to stay in bounds. She's going to be looking to get up and down for her par.
and let's see. The trees are no joke on this hole. I mean, if you can't get out of the forest, they're definitely causing you, and I'm calling it a forest lightly, by the way, being from Oregon. These trees definitely test your first, second, and or third shot to get out of there. Like I said, low hanging branches, Velcro foliage, and with that OB green, which actually I believe Jessica just found, very challenging shot.
Jen going with the standstill here, eliminates some of the timing required, and she throws it perfectly into the circle.
I'd call that parked. That was
Yeah.
a very good shot.
Into a headwind, standstill with a mid-range. Beautiful. Rebecca lining up an Anheuser release here. Wide and high on that angle, looking for it to drop. And it does, right by the basket. That was also a great shot.
Yes, I believe that's going to get her up and down for her par.
Catrina here throwing sidearm. High and wide. Some great upshots from this
Yeah.
card. 17 holes in. Catrina, the only one under par for the tournament. So everyone's trying to keep pace with her at this point. You know, we only have one hole left in this round 2 coverage. So everyone's trying to, maintain. Oh my goodness. Little bit high. Looks a little bit flustered, but she's looking to connect on this. It's almost farther than the first one, but she doesn't let that get to her. She keeps it to a single bogey and still has a 6-stroke lead at this point.
And Jessica tapping in her bogey.
So Kat actually has a 7-stroke lead because Jess just got a bogey as well.
And that was a nice up and down for par there for Rebecca Cox. Still smiling. I love to see it. Always smiling. It's great for the game. And so is that birdie. That birdie's great for Jen's game right now. Her scorecard's happier. Taking a stroke off, putting her at 6 over.
Tied with Rebecca.
We're on the final hole, 18. It's a water shot, folks. 413 feet. It's a par 3, elevated basket, tighter green than we've ever seen in redesigned hole. It's tricky, but it's all there. The risk reward if you're going over the water is definitely a payoff.
Yeah, you can go one of two ways. You can go up that left side, but it makes the hole quite a bit longer. So you're going to see a lot of players throw over the water. Jen went nice and wide, looking for it to drop quickly because the OB on the high left side does come into play if you land it a little too hot. But perfect amount of speed when it hits the ground, and she's going to have a birdie putt. I kind of feel like this one's a bonus if you get this birdie.
Oh, definitely.
You're picking up some strokes on a lot of your competitors. Rebecca lands it safe, but not quite close enough for the confident birdie anyway. And it's hard to imagine she would be going for that putt on that green.
I'm sure on this tee box, Kat was having really good memories of the previous round, round one's birdie too. I mean, it was a beautiful drive. A lot of confidence stepping up to it, especially with that 7-stroke lead. Jessica coming inbounds outside of circle 2 there.
You know, this tee shot is quite demanding, especially with that wind. And
wow, that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I wonder if anyone else played that tricky shot.
Jess again with her sonic, maneuvering that thing through the wind.
Yeah, that's really incredible that she's throwing the sonic all over with this wind.
Oh,
just
Jen.
a little headband there. And that was her birdie.
Yes, it was. You know, missing putts is never good, but at least when you miss it for birdie, you're still carding a par, and you're walking off Jomez lead card coverage, shooting a 4 over. You know, she played a pretty solid round, but really the story here is Catrina shooting under par in this wind. She's going to maintain her lead by quite a few and walk into round 3 with a lot of strokes.
We can't thank JomezPro enough for being here and for bringing us the best coverage disc golf really has ever seen. 2019 GBO, round 2 results as you can see on the board. Catrina Allen, Jessica Weese, and Paige Pierce jumping up into 3rd place right there.
Yeah, Jennifer moving down 1 spot, but that will be the foursome you will see tomorrow on round 3. So click the logo and subscribe now. Make sure you guys ring the bell so you're alerted when the next episode drops, which will be next day, all day. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.